I'm going to take you through a specific workout designed to improve your sprint start. You're going to see various drills and specific movements that will cue the parts of the start. You're going to be able to see the progressions of the drills, and you're going to see how I put it all together. All my workouts follow a specific structure of drill units, and these drill units get progressively more intense faster. For example, we often start a sprint start acceleration unit with these kicking drills. Now, the movement is initiated from the top of the thigh, just below the hip, and you stab your foot forwards, keeping it very low to the ground. This is because when you accelerate, not only do you push, but you take the legs forwards as well. So that stabbing, kicking movement is teaching the muscles, if you like, the brain to signal that connectivity so that the foot moves forwards. It's very important to keep your knee flexed when you're kicking the foot forwards. Take a look at Daniel in the black kit, and you can see what he's doing and how that knee is staying in position as the foot moves forward. We then progress to a jogging and combination of the kicking drill. You've got to keep the feet low to the ground and initiate the movement from the tops of the hips. It's not a scissor bound. You'll see some of the athletes scissoring the movement rather than kicking it forwards with that flexed knee. It's about moving forwards. Moving forwards is key, so hold on to that. So having sown the seeds of that forward movement from the hip and low heel foot recovery, we now direct that into actual accelerations over a couple of steps from a leaning start. Hang the arms down in front of you as you would when you're doing a sprint start, near to your ankles, and then move forwards by taking the back foot to the front with that stabbing action as you drive down through your front leg. So you're scissoring the movement. You'll see how Conrad does it relatively well, and this was his first time of doing this drill. Same for Garrett, but Garrett takes his foot, snatches his foot back towards the track surface. You don't need to do that. Keep the foot moving forwards, and with the body lean, your foot will naturally come back underneath you. You need to set yourself up properly in the start position, whether that obviously be in the blocks or from a leaning start. You need your hips over your shoulders, you need your rear leg bent at the knee, you need to be on the toes of your front leg, almost feeling like you're going to topple forwards. You're looking at about a 45-degree angle at the shin on the first contact, an angle through the whole body as you leave the blocks from the shoulders, hips to the heels. So here you're seeing Conrad, and he's really improving his start mechanics. He had a poor start and often be left behind and be catching people at the end of the race. He's run under 11 seconds a couple of times, but here his force orientation is much better, and you can see that he's going quickly away and forwards and holding his angles and his body shapes. A common fault which sprinters make when leaving the blocks is to spin their legs, to lift the heels too much rather than taking the feet forwards. And you can see that Bowie here is doing this as he's driving away from the start, and his heels are coming too high. That's wasted time. It's going to take longer for the foot to come down onto the ground. You need to get quickly down onto the ground and impart maximum force in that ground contact. The first step is obviously vital to sprint acceleration, and this rather unique drill helps you achieve just that. Basically, you push the athlete forwards from a lean start, hands down in front of them, and then they've got to react. You're capitalizing on the stumble reflex. You know, when you fall down a step or miss a step, you catch yourself to stop yourself falling over, and that's what we're trying to do here. So the foot's going to come down really quickly underneath them, and they're going to project their bodies forwards. If you look at Conrad in the background, you're going to see that he does this particularly well. But if you keep practicing this particular drill, it's going to really hype up, speed up your first step. What about the arms? Well, I like the front arm to lift high at the start and then be followed up by another counter swing of a long arm action. There's a specific drill that's coming up now which shows you how we work on that. Basically, it's the same side arm as your front leg that goes forwards. Why do you do that? If you take your arm forwards, you can sort of follow it and get that projection angle. If your arms are tight in, you're not going to be able to achieve that. Now, of course, you need to be able to press back into the blocks or the track surface and take the back foot forwards as well at the same time in order to get that projection angle. But focusing on the arm can help you. If you're not the best starter and you tend to stand up straight away, then really swinging the arm forwards can get you into that angle, that low getaway angle that you need for fast acceleration. Back position is crucial for acceleration. You don't want to be hunched over. You need your back to be flat. Then you can drive through the spine when you're accelerating. Daniel really improved during this particular session in terms of being able to get that alignment. So of course we then progressed to incorporating the arm action with the leg actions into a 10-15 meter acceleration. You can see here how Conrad's start mechanics, acceleration mechanics have really begun to improve. Bowie started to improve his heel recovery, keeping his heels lower to the ground and doing less of a rotation of the heel, but it still needs more work. Next, we start to extend the acceleration over 20 meters. Here's Garrett. Notice that his head is up. That's partly because he's a 110 meter hurdler, so he's got to start to look at the hurdles, and his coach from Singapore gets him to look from the start. Potentially, I would have his head aligned with the back of his shoulders, and he would take the first 3 steps with his head looking down at the track, and then he'd sight the hurdle. What you need to do with acceleration beyond the first couple of steps is keep imparting force backwards and forwards, using that low heel recovery, keeping the heels lower and not letting them flick up for as long as you can. I often compare the sprint phase of acceleration to the run up in the long jump. It has a structure. You run your run up obviously to hit the board. Well, you must also run a specific accelerative pattern, ignoring the sprinters around you. If you start to race them from the get-go, you can start to lose your mechanics, lose your form, and lose your ability to accelerate optimally. You do that, potentially you've lost the race. You may have noticed in the community section of the channel that I posted about my partner Linda, who passed away in December at a very young age. She always supported my coaching. She was extremely proud of what I achieved as a coach. So this video is in her honour. And as you might have heard, this is our cat, who obviously heard me talking about Linda and decided that he must make an entrance. If you've any comments about this video, or indeed any of my others, then do leave them in the section below or through my other social media. Please do subscribe to the channel and feel free to share this video amongst your fellow athletes and coaches. And above all, before the cat runs away, have a great season in 2025. Make the most of the opportunities that come your way, and always value the people around you. Thank you. If you're looking for a really fast training shoe that thinks it's a spike, then check out the Antiques Muscle Runners. They've got a carbon fiber plate which propels you forward, springs you out of the contact and adds to the velocity. They've also got TPU foam specifically placed in order to assist with toe off and encouraging a forefoot sprinting motion. A couple of my group members have been trialing them and they are full of praise. Indeed, Abraham and Daniel are number 2 in the country in their respective age groups, and they have attributed some of their success to the Antiques Muscle Runners. Check out the link in the video description, or my video that I made which goes into detail on the Antiques. You can also get a 10% discount from the link in the video description.